Welcome to Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from Central California with your hosts Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting video worldwide at ParanormalCentral.net and broadcasting audio on the Dark Matter Network at ArtBell.com. Are you ready to witness something that you cannot explain?
I'm looking for you, you're looking for me. We have to decide what it will be. Can it be true? Can I believe the unexplained?
That was weird. Hello, everyone. I have no idea.
We're being taken over.
It must be that little surprise.
What the?
It's messing with the electronics
Fade it
already.
out.
That was weird. I don't know. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. I am your host for Paranormal Central. Welcome to another episode live, broadcasting from Central California. Really? That was loud. So, hello again. My name is Jeffrey. I have no idea. Oh, that was over there.
Yeah.
That's why. That's freaking me out over there, man. Don't be doing that, Emerald. Hi, everyone. Yes, we are back. And, that is weird. Sorry, Keith, but we're being sabotaged. No, I don't know what happened. But hello, Alan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Emerald running the board.
Hello, everyone.
I'm here.
Okay. Thank you for showing up, everybody. Really appreciate it. Sorry for the mess up there at the beginning, Keith. I don't know what happened, dude. I swear to you, I didn't touch anything. Huh? What? What? I don't know. That's crazy. So, okay. Anyways, we are back. Sorry for that weird intro. Yeah. Okay, trying to move to a bigger studio with people running everything where I don't have to mess with anything. It's as simple as that. So, all right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. I am your host for Paranormal Central. We have a lot of good stuff we're going to talk about tonight. But before we do, we're going to talk to our Squatch reporter, Mr. Danny Valderrama, and we're going to get him on the line here pretty quick, and we're going to talk some Bigfoot. And I believe he is on. Mr. Danny, you on?
Hello,
Hello.
I am here.
Hey,
though.
Danny.
So what's
Hey,
happening?
Alan.
What's
Happy
happening?
Father's Day.
Thank you.
That's
sir.
right. Happy Father's Day to
Father's Day.
everybody who
Happy
is a
Father's
father.
Day, Keith.
Yes. And I know Keith is probably partying like a madman right now.
Oh, yeah.
So and were you on vacation again this week, Danny?
Yeah.
You suck. What? How many vacations do you get per year?
Not enough.
No, shut up.
Only 2.5 months a year.
No way. That much?
Yep.
I go, well, I guess you've been working there how long?
13 years.
Wow. See, I've been working there 14, and I get, maybe about that much. Okay, all right.
You're always on vacation too.
No,
You're
I'm
always
not.
taking days off every day.
No, what are you talking about every day?
You're never there.
I'm never there. Yeah, mentally, I'm never there. All right. Well, Danny, what do you got for us today? I know you sent over some pictures, and for all those who are watching us at ParanormalCentral.net, I am going to be putting up some pictures corresponding to the stories that Danny is going to be talking about. And if you are watching at ArtBell.com, you can look at the pictures as well over there. So that way you're not going to miss anything. So we are going to go to picture number 1. And it is, what do you know, a Bigfoot. Okay, what are we looking at here, Mr. Danny Valderrama?
All right, this is from the Bigfoot evidence page. This is from posted on Sunday, May 11th, 2014. And that picture that you're seeing is from Rob Roy Menzies' picture. And this is from Washington in Jefferson County, Washington State, in Jefferson County. This was reported to the BFRO. And this is from a military officer. He doesn't give his name, but he's about ready to retire. He's been in the military for 20 years in the Army Guard. And this is a story from 1986. He's finally coming forward with it. And it was 1 to 2 hours before dark. This is near Discovery Bay, on the mountain overlooking Discovery Bay. It's between Port Townsend and the town of Sequim in northwestern state of Washington, up near the Olympic National Forest there. And he was with his 2 buddies and their 2 girlfriends, and they were all crammed in his truck, and they were heading up the mountain to go target practice. And he decided to stop his truck before they got to the top of the hill so they could walk up to the hill and not scare any animals that were up there. So they were, the rest of the people were getting their stuff out of the truck, and he decided to go walk up the hill with his shotgun before everybody else. And when he got to the top of the hill, he looked down the hill, and he noticed that there was something about 50 to 60 feet away from him down the hill, standing on a stump. And at first he thought it was a large man dressed in a ghillie suit, staring at Discovery Bay that was in front of him, so he had his back to him. And then as he was staring there, the thing didn't move. It was just staring straight ahead at the water and watching the sunset. And when his friends were getting out of the truck, they slammed the door. And when the door slammed, this thing slowly turned around. It didn't turn its head. It moved its shoulders and its feet to turn around to look at him. And it made eye contact with him, and they were just staring at each other. And when he saw the face, he knew it wasn't a person in a ghillie suit. He knew he was looking at something that he had never seen before. So it turned back around slowly, and it continued staring at the water. And he had no idea what he was looking at. It was standing in the middle of a slope in the middle of a clear-cut area, so there was no forest for it to run to. So he just couldn't believe it. He saw a huge something standing there, and he yelled. When he finally got composed, he yelled to his friends, said, "Hey, come here, look at this." And it slowly turned around and looked at him again, and it kind of gave like an annoyed look at him. He said he could see that it was intelligent. He could see it in its eyes, that it knew what was going on. And he said that they just stared at each other again, and this thing turned back around, and it took one leap off of the log, heading towards the clear cut that was the forest that was there nearby. It took one giant leap off of there and then started walking. It didn't run, but it was a walking. It was walking really fast towards the forest, the tree line there. And he took off running after it, and when he took off running, his friends saw that he was chasing something, so they came running fast. And this thing made it back to the tree line before his friends got a chance to see it. So he said it didn't have a neck or anything, and it was just turned its whole body to look at him. But he could hear it running through the brush, and he didn't understand why. If it was a moose or something, the thick brush there would have prevented it from running into the bush. But this thing didn't slow down at all. He could hear it crashing through. His friends could hear it crashing through. And they didn't see it, but he was chasing it. He said he wasn't too far behind it. So he told his friends what he had seen. So they all went back to the stump, and they started looking for footprints. And they did find footprints in the area leading towards the tree line. They also found a thick, musky smell in the air that they had never smelled before. They didn't know what the heck that was. He said that he could see that it was 7.5 to 8 feet tall, taking huge strides, walking way too fast for a human. And he said no human could get through there. He said he tried getting through where the thing had run to, and he had no chance of getting through there. And he's deciding to tell his story because he's about to retire. So nobody can make fun of him or anything in the military because he's going to retire. So he doesn't care now.
Right on.
It's a pretty cool story.
Right on.
How far was he from it when he realized?
When he first saw it,
yeah,
it was 50 to 60 feet down the hillside from him.
It's really close.
Standing on the stump.
Wow.
Very cool. All right, let's go to picture number 2, and it looks like we have some hair samples.
Yeah, this is really recent. This was reported on June 12th.
Whoa.
These people didn't know what to do about this. They've been having sightings and everything happening at their house since 2010, and they finally came across the Finding Bigfoot show. So they heard about the BFRO through them. So they contacted the BFRO and finally reported a sighting. And this has been going on for the past few years with Bigfoot activity. They have footprints And he says last night, which would be June 11th, his wife was hearing something knocking outside of their bedroom door, or outside their bedroom wall, and said it was loud. So they got up and looked around, and they found this big clump of hair, which is the picture there. And the big clump of hair had a musky odor to it. It's kind of skunk-like, but stronger. And it was brown in color, 3 inches long, and it had like sticks and pieces of outside the grass and everything, debris in it. So he contacted BFRO, and he said he wants immediate attention on this because, you know, he's not interested in being on their TV show, but he wants this hair tested before it gets too degraded, and that was the problem we had.
Right. Well,
he said the tracks on that they've been finding are 17 to 18 inches long and 8 inches wide at the widest point.
Wow.
So they're not deep enough to cast because the ground's kind of hard out there. And they've been having plenty of broken trees and bark stripped off the trees. He said they have pear trees, and the pear tree can have like 500 pears on it, and in one night, the whole thing is stripped overnight. And that's been happening for the last 3 years.
wow.
Something comes by and just takes all the pears.
That's where some cameras and some surveillance goes down. Oh, my God.
He says he does have 2 IR cameras up, and he's had those up since 2010, but he's gotten absolutely nothing on those.
Well, how do
But
you...
there are footprints around the trees.
How do you
so
get...
he's
Oh,
expecting it.
then those cameras are not placed like they should be. I mean,
Yeah.
he should be able to get them... Man, where's this...
He's had nobody to contact because he didn't know who the heck to contact.
Where's this
But
place?
now he has BFRO, and they've already contacted him.
Did they? Where? What city is this? What state?
It does, you know, that's everything. It lists all the information on there, but except for the city. I contacted him and asked him what city it was, and I haven't heard anything back from him.
Wow.
I'd like to know where this is too, but they've even heard growls over the last couple of weeks coming from the forest behind their house. So
That would be worth a road trip.
Depending
That
on
guy.
where it's at, though. Yeah.
So I'll let you know where this takes place. But
Okay. Yeah.
you know, the BFRO said he had just talked to them last night, and he's going to send out the
That'll
hair
be the
sample
last
to
we
them.
hear
They're
of
going to
it.
get it tested for him.
See, you
Said
don't
it's brown with red tint in it.
you don't send out the hair samples like that, man. They're gonna tell you, well, it's nothing, and they're gonna keep it and place it aside. And later on, when it's convenient for them, they're going to say, look at what we found. That's why you don't do that. Mister, if you're listening, please don't send it to anybody like that. You need to do this on your own.
You ever wonder how much stuff the BFRO ever collected?
A lot of
I
them.
know. I mean, they have hundreds of thousands of sightings, and just imagine all the stuff that got sent to them,
Right.
too.
Yeah. And well, you know what? It takes a lot of money to also, check get into and check the DNA and all that kind of stuff. So it's not
the
cheap.
guy's name is Matt Moneymaker.
Oh, yeah, true.
He owns it. I'm sure he could get it done. He knows everybody in
Yeah,
the
he
field.
does. Okay. All right. What's going on, number 3?
Right.
Oh,
Number
this
3 has
is-
3 pictures with it,
That's cool.
and it's from an elusive Minnesota Bigfoot research team. And it's a new camera that's going to be coming out.
Wow.
It's a Gyroptic. It's made by Gyroptic. It's a new 360-degree camera, kind of like a GoPro. Only thing, this one, the camera, it has 3 cameras mounted on it. And they have like a fisheye lens, which captures more area. And it stitches 3 video streams together into a single panoramic video. So you don't need to put the camera behind you anymore. This thing will cover it.
Yeah, but it's like
It comes with, you can view it on a computer or mobile device. It has multiple mounting options. It has a handheld one where you can, it looks like a stick that you can mount this thing on, so you can hold it while you're walking. There's also a light bulb mount.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
One of the pictures that I showed, that you can put a light bulb attachment on it, and you can put it, like if you wanted to do home surveillance, you can put it where the light bulb would go. You mount it on there. And it doesn't matter which way you turn this camera. It always stays. You could turn the camera upside down. It'll still record
right
the
side up.
way that you had it originally.
Wow.
So if you fall down, it'll still keep recording straight ahead. You won't be able to tell that you fell.
That's the perfect camera for me.
Okay, so so how did this record then? It's Wi-Fi or?
It has an SD card in it,
Okay.
or you can record. It has a wire. You can record straight to the computer.
Okay, so
It comes with a goggle. Well, there's this goggles that you can buy is attached to the lenses, so you can take it underwater with you. It has GPS and Wi-Fi. It has a micro SD. It's a micro SD slot.
Okay, so it's well, I'm trying to think of how somebody in the Bigfoot could use this.
So if we went hiking, just like we used the GoPro,
Okay.
this is what we'd use instead of mounting the camera behind us.
So I'd mount it on top of the
Just
head.
hold that camera, and it'd get the whole view all the way around us.
Okay.
It has an image stabilizer on it,
Okay.
so you don't get all the bouncing and stuff. But the only problem that I see with it is it only has a 1 hour battery life.
Mm.
It's still kind of new.
Yeah,
It
1 hour.
takes video or still pictures, and it also comes with, or you can get 3D software.
Mm. And
It's
then
not available anywhere right now. They're currently on Kickstarter. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yes.
It's a website where you can. I put the information on your Facebook page.
Okay.
It's Kickstarter, and what you do is you donate to this group, and they have to get to a certain amount of money before this project is funded. They started their original goal was 500,000, and they have 2,980 backers so far. And they're currently over $1 million.
What?
And they have 18 days left to fund their project in order to get it going.
Holy
He
cow.
says they currently do have enough money to make these cameras, but they wanted to put it on Kickstarter to gauge the kind of interest that they're going to have in the camera to see how good it's going to do. And right now, if you're a backer of this and you pledge $249 or more, you can get the camera when it comes out in November. It'll ship in November, and you can get the camera for $249. And the regular price is going to be somewhere around $500 when it comes out. So there's different tiers, so you can do $249, $299, or $329, and there's a certain amount of people that can pledge that amount, and all those have been filled. So all those people will get the camera at whatever price that they pledged.
Right.
So the next tier would be $349 or more, which is still, they say, going to be like a $300 savings, because the more you pay, the more options you get with it. Like for $349, you get the camera and the underwater caps that come with so you can take the camera underwater.
Right.
And some cables, and then you get a thank you on their website. If you only want to pledge $25, you get a T-shirt. But I put the link on your page, and there's only 18 days left. It'll stop on July 4th.
Okay.
So
right on.
That sounds like it's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Let me go
Looks
to
like
the next.
Looks like an octopus.
There is the
Oh, wow, look at
another
that.
one there. And
It shows a
then-
picture of what it's going to look like.
Right. And then I'm gonna go ahead.
Man, we could have thought of something like that.
Yeah. Okay. And then I guess this next one is the 360 on that camera.
Shows you what the lenses look like, and
The only
Well, the
bad thing
output
is
on
it's like close.
Control
Fisheye
buttons.
means like within 10 feet or 20 feet
Yeah.
at the most, you know.
So that's
Anything
cool.
past that's going to be like hard to see.
Very cool. So hey, did you go see Godzilla? Didn't you?
I saw Godzilla, man. It's right up your alley.
Why now? Why do you say that?
Because in the movie they have like conspiracy theories, they have secret government agencies, underground bunkers, all that kind of good stuff. And I said, wow, Jeffrey would love this. They have people making cover stories for things that were going on, like because they had right at the beginning of the movie they have a nuclear reactor that melts down, and they blame it on some faulty mechanic things or something, and they seal off the whole area, just like Fukushima.
Right.
And the whole town is deserted, and they say it's because of the meltdown. But this guy sneaks back into the area, and you can see people working out there on the little island. So he sneaks over there, and it's not because of a meltdown. It's because they got something trapped in there.
So you're saying Fukushima? Then there's Godzilla in real life.
Yeah, it might be.
And there goes my voice. Right on. All right, Danny, appreciate it as always, and I guess we will see you next Sunday.
Yeah.
Right on, dude.
And happy birthday to Art Bell on Tuesday.
That's right. Art
Oh,
Bell's
yeah.
birthday is on Tuesday, and so is Emerald's.
Yay.
Emerald
Happy
and
Father's
Art
Day,
Bell.
Danny.
So, all right, man.
All right.
Have a good day. Take
All
care,
right.
dude.
You too,
Thanks.
guys.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's awesome. Some good Bigfoot stuff there. What we're going to do now is I have a neighbor who I grew up next to in Sanger, and she is now, from what I understand, she teaches either screenwriting or filmmaking in San Francisco, and she posted something on her Facebook wall stating that she had just written a script for a movie that they want to film there, and they put it on Kickstarter, I believe, and that and it's about a fairy. So I just wanted to get some information on her and see if they need some help. Maybe we can assist her in getting the movie going. So we're going to talk to her right now. Her name is Donna, and I've known her for a long time, since I was a little kid. And Emerald is still talking with her right now on the phone, and I don't know if she maybe is now doesn't want to come on. Maybe she's shy. No. All right. Hello, Donna.
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
How's it going?
Hi, Donna. I'm Alan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hello, Alan. How are you?
Real good.
Good. We got Alan, myself, and Emerald, who you just talked to, our engineer.
Okay.
So, right on. So, hey, I never knew exactly what you did. Fill me in. I mean, where do you teach, or what's going on? I mean, I don't understand any of this. Where do you teach? Where do you teach?
So, first of all, I teach screenwriting and storytelling, both a BFA and MFA level in the motion pictures department at the Academy of Art University in San Francisco.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow, yeah.
And
I can't believe you didn't know that.
No, I never knew that, because I don't talk to Allie very often, and your parents I hardly ever see, so I have no clue what you're doing.
I know, yeah. I've been doing it for about 10 years.
Wow.
That's cool.
That is awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the reason why I figured out that you're involved in this type of stuff, is because what you posted on your Facebook wall. And you tell us, everybody, that did you just write a screenplay or for a movie, right? Or
Well, actually, what happened was, because I also write fiction,
okay.
so I wrote the short story originally. And then in talking to my very talented colleagues at the Academy of Art, one of the directing instructors took interest in the short story, asked me if I would consider developing it into a screenplay and possibly shooting it. So I wrote the first couple drafts and then showed it to him, and then we collaborated on a couple revisions. It actually was over the course of about 1.5 years or 2 years developing the screenplay. It's a long short. It's going to be around 20 minutes long.
Okay.
And then from there, then we started talking to our other talented colleagues. You can imagine on a film faculty, there are producers, cinematographers, all kinds of people who have long careers in the industry, and they love to work on movies. So we got a great group of people together and created a special summer filmmaking collaborative class that could work between the students and the teachers. So we're mentoring students this summer. They'll be working in lead production roles. They'll be mentored by various people, the producer, the director, myself, the cinematography instructor, and so on. So they're going to learn a lot, and we're going to get a great film out of it, I hope.
Now, explain everybody what this 20 short is going to be about.
Well, okay. It's called Free Fall, and it's a dark urban tale about a desperate man who encounters an injured woman that he believes to be a fairy, and he hopes she will be the solution to his problems.
Where did you get the idea?
Actually, because I write fiction, I'm always looking for inspirational visual images to jumpstart my imaginative process, and I happen to be in downtown Chicago, and a young girl that was dressed as a fairy was riding a scooter down the sidewalk following I presume, her mother. And there was just something about the image that really captured my imagination because she seemed very out of place. She was downtown Chicago, was very busy, a lot of, business people walking around, and suddenly she came by on this scooter. And it just stuck with me, and so I started thinking about, what would happen if suddenly a fairy came zipping through a crowd of people on a scooter, and that was the origin for the story.
Wow. That is weird because, we talk about that kind of stuff here. And again, we both didn't know what each other did as far as our, the show that we do here and your background. And I just found it interesting. And I know that this is just all fiction. You don't believe in any of this stuff, especially the fairies. And I know your parents must have talked to you about what I was doing, especially with Bigfoot, because you did mention Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I would hear little bits and pieces here and there.
Right. So that's why when I saw the word fairy, it piqued my interest, and I just wanted to find out why you decided to choose this subject. And
well, let me say this: I do believe in ethereal spirits in this world. Do I think I'm personally going to run into a human with wings? I'm not there yet.
Right.
But I think about these kinds of stories as myths and fairy tales and fables, the kinds of stories that I grew up on that just really sparked my imagination, and I think are very responsible for turning me into a writer. So I love to stay in touch with those kinds of stories that affected me when I was very young and jump-started my imagination, because I think it's something that people struggle to hang on to when they become adults, because we get so caught up in our everyday lives and all the worries and concerns that come along with being adults. So I think that we hang on to the inspiration and the hope for that sort of magical life.
Wow.
And so one of the things that I like to write about, in fact, all of my stories deal with this in some manner, is how do we stay in touch with our very youthful, childlike imagination when we're adults.
Wow, very
so
cool.
So that's why there's a desperate man who really needs help. And the story starts, he's sitting on a bench in a park in San Francisco, and a fairy, an injured fairy, zips by him on a scooter. And of course, his imagination is immediately captured, and he follows her into the park, and the story goes on from there.
Wow, that's very cool. Have you written any other screen that had to do with this subject matter? Like, I don't want to say paranormal.
Fairies?
Well, not fairies, necessarily fairies, but other supernatural,
Well, all of my stories have some element of either magical realism or surrealism to them. They're all grounded in what I hope are believable, recognizable worlds, but I always bring some sort of unexpected magical element into the story. So I've written stories about, well, these are going to sound strange, but
not on this show.
Yeah, not on this show.
A woman who, I don't know if you know this Mexican photographer, her name is Graciela Iturbide, and there's a very famous photo of a woman in a market in Oaxaca where she sells iguanas, and she has about 5 or 6 iguanas on her head. So it's a real woman in a real situation, a real photograph. And so, for instance, I'll look at a picture like that and I'll imagine the story behind the picture. Only when I look at her, I see a woman who has iguanas growing out of her head. Because in a sense, that's what it looks like. So I have a story about a woman who, because she did something that she probably shouldn't have, she ends up with these iguanas growing out of her head, stories about kids running around in playgrounds and that they imagine that their divorced parent lives in one of the rides in the park. Probably one of my more popular stories that's set in the Central Valley is about a magical salmon that lives in the ocean for 150 years, and when they finally reconnected the San Joaquin River, the fish was able to swim back home to down below Millerton Dam and rejoin its family. Things like that. Things that we might hope for, that we wish were possible. Just stories like that.
Didn't you write something about our growing up? For those who don't know, we were neighbors forever. Didn't you write something about our being neighbors, about the backyard, something Spanish?
Oh, that's a screenplay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not magical
No,
in any way, but it is about myth. It's about the infamous gold rush bandito, Joaquin Murrieta. And again, the question of was he a mythological figure or was he not? I was very interested in addressing that, and the jumping off point for that story, actually one of the key scenes, takes place in your backyard, in your parents' backyard.
Yeah, explain to us how, in what way.
Well, the two main characters have gone to high school together, but now it's 5 years later. They were romantically involved in high school, and 5 years later they meet at a 4th of July party in your dad's backyard, because your dad and mom always had those great 4th of July parties.
Right. Yep.
And so, because it was set around that time, I have them reconnect at a party in their backyard, and there's even a tiny role for your dad. He has a couple of lines. And
Cool.
From there, they go off up into the gold country and begin the search for Joaquin Murrieta's treasure.
That's cool. Now, didn't you submit this to Selma Hayek's production company at one time?
Oh my gosh, who have you been talking to? I have, and actually the film has been set up 3 times. If you know anything about the world of screenwriting, it's very tenuous business, and it's difficult to get funding for projects.
Yes.
And we had funding from different places, from New Mexico and Florida and Australia, but the funding fell through,
Right.
unfortunately, and the option on the film lapsed. So always trying to set it up.
Sure.
But yeah, we did at one point. It's been read by many people, but it's a big budget film because it requires a lot of exterior locations, a lot of exterior shoots, and so it's hard these days to get
Right.
that much
Oh,
money
no.
together.
It is absolutely hard. I totally understand where you're coming from. And I was just talking to my co-host here, Alan, and we have been just offered a book deal. We had an incident that occurred up in the Sierra Mountains, a Bigfoot incident, and you probably have never even heard about this, but we need to talk.
Well, no, that's not true. I have heard bits and pieces.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Okay. This is about the windows of my truck. Does that make any sense? Have you heard about that?
I have a little bit. Yes,
Okay.
I have.
Okay. Well, it just so happens that we were offered a book deal and we needed to start writing the book. But the only problem is I have no clue where to even start or even go. So maybe, we can get together here and sit down and talk, and maybe have you
Get some
write it
pointers
for
or
us,
something.
or do something, and you get a percentage or whatever, because it just so happens to be the publication. What is it? The person who offered us the book deal. Also, she's actually very big, and the book that she put out gets all over the place. And there's even a movie done on one of the books that Art Bell had. It was the Day After Tomorrow. It made into a movie. But anyways, they want us to start writing this book ASAP, and I need help. So maybe we need to touch bases and get together. Well,
first of all, let me say congratulations on being offered a book deal.
Thank you.
That's big news for you guys, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And, I do work as a consultant. I just finished 2 work-for-hire rewrites on screenplays for producers in Los Angeles, and I'm always happy, as a teacher, too, I'm always happy to talk to people about writing and stories that they're working on or projects that they have in front of them. So sure, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it.
And this is actually a movie, easy. And once you hear about the whole story, you're gonna love it. So okay, we need to talk. Let me call you. Let me call you tomorrow sometime. Tomorrow night? Tomorrow night, okay?
Tomorrow evening would be fine.
Okay,
yeah.
Awesome, Donna. All right, I'm gonna call you tomorrow and fill you in on what's going on with us and what we have going on. So maybe you can assist us and we can go from there.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean,
always love to talk about stories.
Okay,
always.
Sweet. All right.
Have you had any like people that you taught and now they're big names now?
Right now probably I wouldn't say they aren't well known yet. Mm-hmm. One of my former students right now is her name is Sydney Freeland, and she made a wonderful independent film called Drunk Town's Finest. She's a Native American Indian, and a lot of the story takes place on a reservation. And she went through Sundance, and through the screenwriting lab and through the director's lab, and she was handpicked by Robert Redford to be one of the films that premiered at Sundance Festival in January. And then they picked her to go to the London Sundance Festival, which is the first time they'd done it there, and subsequently she's been in virtually every film festival across the country, and she's coming here to San Francisco at the end of the month. So she has a blazing career that's taking off. I have many former students who are working as what happens at the Academy of Art. You have to take storytelling and screenwriting, whether you want to be a writer, a director, producer, cinematographer, it doesn't matter. So I have many former students who are working as producers, as cinematographers, more behind-the-scenes people that you might not recognize their name. But I think I can think of three up-and-coming directors that you may be hearing about shortly. And I hope that you will also be hearing about the director from our short film.
Absolutely. Does a Mackenzie Mathis sound familiar to you?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, no problem. I just there was somebody out of San Francisco who did a movie about an alien abduction, and he said San Francisco, so I thought it was the same place. So now, so you're short, called Free Fall, and you guys are looking to get it sponsored at You guys need $5,000 in order to do it, right?
Right. Well, what's happening is, because this is a special summer class, because we're able to use facilities and equipment at the Academy of Art, and we're also tapping into our very talented student body, that's going to cover half the expenses. Wow. So we're looking to raise funds to help us with post-production. We are going to have some special effects, of course. There will be a couple dream, not sequences, but just dreams that reference the fairy world, and of course she will have wings and so on. And then we want to make sure we have money to submit to festivals.
Sure.
Yeah, and in a perfect world, we're hoping that the short film, we want to make the best standalone short film that we can, but we're also hoping that it will become the pilot for a series.
Absolutely, that would. We
have lots of great ideas of where this story can go. So we just have to take the first step.
I can see.
So we've launched an Indiegogo campaign.
Okay.
And we're trying to raise $5,000. We just launched on Wednesday, and we've already raised about 30% in 4 days. So we're very excited about that, and we have a lot of likes on our Facebook page. So we're really just looking to people to help us get the word out, spread the word as much as possible.
Give that. Oh, you have.
So
say
how do
your Facebook page and how they can get to it.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Like, tell everybody how to get to these pages.
So what you can do, if you want to check out the Indiegogo campaign, go to Indiegogo.com. And for those who don't know, that's INDIE, gogo.com. if you go to their website, you can search for, the name of the film is Free Fall, that's one word. You can search for Free Fall 2, and that's important because previously there was another campaign for a short documentary by the name of Free Fall, which is still on the website. But if you search under Free Fall 2, you will see our campaign comes up in the #1 position. And
Okay.
you can just click on that link and read about all the people who are involved, and you can see some of the students who will be involved and what we hope to do with the film. And then as far as the Facebook page, you can just search for Free Fall, one word, and it'll pop right up. And you can really help us by liking our page, sharing the Indiegogo link with your friends, anything to just help us get the word out. I'm sure you know that there's a lot of crowdsourcing that's going on these days. So anything we can do to get the word out is really appreciated.
Awesome. Okay, so if anybody has any money they don't want right now, Donna would take it off your hands in a heartbeat.
Well, let me just add that we do have some really great perks too, and you have, of course, opportunities to get your name in the credits and get DVDs. You can get original artwork that's signed. The director of the film started as an underground comic artist, and he's directed hundreds of short films and created original broadcast graphics for MTV and people like that. So he's very talented. And then also, you can, at a certain level, we have handcrafted fairy-themed jewelry, and then all the way up to getting co-producing credit or associate producer credit on a film. So it just depends.
Okay.
But there are a lot of really cool rewards available,
Awesome.
I think.
Very good. All right, and again, the short story is Free Fall. So everybody go to Facebook, type in Free Fall, like the page, and if you can, donate as well. And let's see if we can make this happen for Donna and all the rest of them.
Absolutely.
And that would be very cool. Now, Donna, like I said, I am going to call you tomorrow because I don't think you know the half of what's happening with us on this side. So,
I think I don't now that I've talked to you.
Yeah, I think we need to speak to you. So, okay, Donna, I'm going to call you tomorrow night, and we're going to talk. And again, the short is Free Fall. Everybody go and like the Facebook page, and if you can donate, let's do it. Okay, guys? All right, Donna, thank you very much for coming on, and I will call you tomorrow night, okay?
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Not a problem,
Appreciate
Donna.
it.
Take care.
Have
See you
a nice
tomorrow.
evening.
Okay.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Bye. So I had no clue she was way into it this much. So I need to talk to her.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. She's getting in the right genre right now. I mean, what is that movie? I think you just went and saw it too.
Maleficent.
Yeah, that's a fairy movie too,
Yeah,
isn't it?
but pretty darn close to it. Yeah. So, all right. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and move on. What we have going is we were able to scrounge up some money, got a little bit of a budget, and I know this is going to sound funny, but we were able to place a cellular phone up in the spot near the forest where we go all the time.
Yeah, see, I dug in Jeff's couch. I turned it upside down, and I got 100% of our budget right out of there.
So we placed a cellular telephone up there. What? And hoping that maybe Bigfoot one of these days will call. I also had a friend who... going through it? That actually has a cellular phone that took... What are they saying? Hold on. Give it the right... Hold on. We're trying to get something. Keep on going. So while she's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and continue on with other stuff.
Well, you know that the last show we did on the Gadget Show got a lot. Man, I got a lot of emails and messages, and everybody was loving the Gadget Show. And then they've been sharing their gadgets with us. So we need to have another Gadget Show, but only where we have callers call in and tell us about their gadgets. Because they want to share their gadgets.
All right.
And I didn't know that it was going to be so popular, you know.
Wow, that would have. I mean, yeah, that's. It was just something that just came up all of a sudden. All of a sudden, we decided to show our top secret stuff and go from there. So, well, anyways, back to the budget situation. We were able to place a cellular phone at Area 51, and I actually have. I'm in the electronics business, so I was able to get some of my electronics and start messing around with the CB. And as I was screwing around with it, I came across a certain frequency, and I was able to tune in to I don't know what it was, but I got some voices, and I think I tuned into the right frequency. And let me see if I can bring that up. Hold on. Hello?
Hello?
Who's this?
Can anybody hear me?
What?
We could hear you. I think I hear you.
Oh my goodness. Who is this?
No, who's this?
This is Michael Jackson. Who is this?
What? Michael.
How did you find me? I've been floating in nothingness for it feels like 3 years.
This is not Michael Jackson, is it really? Prove it.
Of course it is. Who else would it be?
Yeah, I was going to say prove it, but that doesn't tell me anything.
I can't moonwalk on the phone, but who do you think it's going to be?
So where are you at, Michael?
It's really hard to explain. It's very hot down here. There are no children. It's really not very pleasant.
No children.
So describe your surroundings.
It looks a lot like one of my video shoots. Back when I was in the 70s, I believe there's a lot of undead people around me, and I was wearing a leather suit that caught me right in the crotch just perfectly. It was beautiful. Sorry about that. There's a giant red guy with a pitchfork. I can't really explain it.
Maybe you're in the place that you're supposed to be at.
I don't know. I see a lot of my friends down here from Hollywood.
What friends? Do you have friends?
Yeah, a lot of friends. Let's see, Sammy Davis Jr., we were dancing earlier. Who else is down here? A lot of good people. It just turns out the Mormons are right.
Mormons are right? And
Sir, I did nothing wrong. There's no reason I should be here. I made millions of people laugh. And millions of people dance and sing.
Can you still sing, even if you're on the other side?
I believe the children are future. Sorry, my voice must have been damaged by the smoke down here. It's very smoky and hot.
Well, what are you smoking?
Nothing. It's just there's flames and all kinds of stuff. There's humans being barbecued. It's actually not that bad. I found my nose down here. It's beautiful. It's been years since I've seen it.
So, has anybody ever contacted you before? Or is this the first?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is this the first time anybody's contacted you?
Yeah, it's the first time. It's just I don't know how this phone, it just appeared in front of me and then it started ringing.
Man,
I wonder if it's a Verizon or AT&T.
I don't think that. It definitely isn't AT&T. They don't get reception in real life.
Boom, boom.
Must be Verizon, because I see the little guy over here. He can hear me now.
Yeah, we can hear you. So what do you do with yourself down there now since you're on the other side, wherever you may be?
Just working on some new dance moves, writing new songs, and, just wishing there were some children to keep me company.
Is there any children down there? I hope not.
No, everyone seems to be, that Joffrey kid from the Game of Thrones showed up yet last week.
Who? Well, who was
Joffrey
that?
kid.
I have no idea what you just said. I think that smoke is getting into your lungs.
Sorry about that.
So you basically spend your days just writing songs and dancing then?
Just waiting for my comeback.
You come back. Okay. When do you think that might happen?
Oh, soon. Very, very soon. The rapture is coming. The Dark Lord is master, and he will be around soon.
And how do you know that?
It's in the book.
It's in the book.
It's in the book. So you've been reading the book.
Yeah, there's really not much other reading material down here, seeing as how the Mormons are right. They gave us the King James Version.
Oh, man. Okay, so you want to ask him any questions, Ellen? I mean...
I was just tripping out that your stuff was so good that you could get the underworld and even get Michael Jackson.
That's cool, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
believe it or not, Michael Jackson, you're on the air.
Yeah, we got you on the air right now to millions of people
Back on the radio again. Wonderful.
Is there anything you would like to say to all your fans?
You know, I'm bad. Shama. That's about it.
Okay, Michael, I'm going to let you go. Keep writing those songs, and maybe one of these days we'll be able to get back to you and find out where you're at again, all right?
Certainly hope so. Can't wait for my new special to come out.
And what special is that?
Oh, it's going to be called Thriller 2. You'll be the first to know.
Okay. All right. Well, let me know, man. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, Michael.
Bye-bye.
Okay, that was the first. I didn't think it was going to get that good of a reception, but...
not bad for all the change out of his couch.
Yeah, that's what it's worth. So.
You sold your computer.
Yeah.
All right. Thank
good.
you, Michael. So, all right. Hopefully, we'll get. We'll tune in to somebody at Area 51. Maybe we'll get somebody out there in that area. So we'll see what happens. So, all right. Let's talk about the stuff that's happening in the news right now. And I have a lot of lists. First of all, somebody passed away today. For all those who know his voice, he was the voice of Shaggy. And a lot of other voices as well, but I've known him mostly as Shaggy. Casey Kasem passed away today, and
he was really Shaggy.
Yeah, he was Shaggy.
Have you ever tried to make that voice, like the Shaggy voice? It's almost impossible.
He was the master at it. I'm pretty sure he was the original.
Even the guy that does it now can't do it as good as the original Shaggy.
No, it's completely different.
Yeah, I mean that was like an impossible voice.
Right.
You know, it was like somebody put a shoestring around his neck and was, choking him out while he was talking.
Now, you can tell the difference, though.
Yeah,
you can tell the difference of today and back in the 70s and 80s when we were growing up. You can tell the big difference, and it's kind of hard, when you have a voice that's been around for a long time and try to reproduce it. It's really hard. So, I mean, Casey Kasem had one of those unique voices, and you can tell, and somebody posted on Facebook a list of all these cartoon characters that he did, and there was a lot of them that he did, and I had no idea. But the only reason why I known of Shaggy, because Scooby-Doo was my all-time favorite growing up, only because of Scooby-Doo and the paranormal and the ghosts and the monsters. I mean, it's like when you were a kid growing up, and if you did not watch Scooby-Doo, and I can tell you right now, all the people who were involved in paranormal today, as kids, watched Scooby-Doo growing up. Mm-hmm. I mean, I watched it every day after I got home from school for half hour. It was a great cartoon. I loved it. And that kind of stuff.
I didn't even know Casey Kasem did voices. I remember him every week doing the top 40.
Right.
I mean, and every week we tuned in on the AM channel and listened to Casey Kasem do the top 40. And it had people like the Beatles and, stuff like that. So, man, I'm feeling old.
Both of us.
Saying that.
So,
wow.
So, all right. There's something going on right now, and I posted this on my Facebook wall about all these illegal kids that are coming in over the borders. And there's a lot of people who are talking about it, but you're not hearing very much of it on the mainstream media. And it's just kind of scary. Now, obviously, we get a lot of people crossing the borders every day. I mean, there's just thousands of miles of border that cannot be watched by, anybody. I mean, they're thinking about putting up fencing, and there's just thousands of miles. There's no way they can keep eyes on all the parts of the border. But within the past year in 2014, literally thousands and thousands of these kids have been coming across the border. Just kids, not parents, just kids. And within the past several months, they say approximately 47,000 kids have just come across, just like that. And a lot of the Border Patrol agents, the people who are trying to find out what's going on, the Border Patrol agents have never seen anything like this ever. And they're responding back and saying this is all orchestrated. And because it has to be organized for them to all come across the border at the same time. It's being organized somehow. And they cannot figure out why it's happening.
Except for what they get when they get here. It's almost like somebody told them to organize it, because when they get over here, they get everything. The United States of America is the land of the free, and you can be whatever you want to be if you put your heart and soul into it, and it's the land of the free. And wherever they're coming from, I think it's Central America, they're very, it's Brazil, Venezuela, it's their life out there sucks. So if that's what they're getting fed, that type of information, that's why they're coming over here. But the question is, now they're being, as soon as they're coming over the borders, they're being captured and they're being bused to certain locations. There's really no place to put them. And Obama just came out recently and said, well, we can't turn these kids away. They're our future, and we need to, keep them here. And everybody's going, what are you talking about? I think there's a bigger picture. He just said that he is trying to get Congress to put up about $2 billion to start building or putting together these camps at these military bases. No. They already have them.
No.
That's what he just said. That's what he wants.
Camps.
That's what he wants to happen. No, okay, well, now you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
They already have the FEMA camps.
Okay, well, picture this, all right? He wants to start putting all these kids in these camps that are probably going to be controlled by FEMA, hence FEMA camps. All right. So, is this the start of the FEMA camp scenario? Because everybody's been talking about FEMA camps, the locations. People have been trying to find out the locations. They have found different spots where they think they are, but now he is pretty much coming out and say, you know what? We need to open the. Now he specifically said, open these camps on military bases, which pretty much are FEMA camps to me. That's what these are. 47,000 kids, but there's a lot more that are already over here, and we're talking probably over 50, going to be pretty soon 100,000. Right now, I posted something on Facebook, and I said, okay, why is this happening? Now, I'm not being right now I'm not on any political side, Republican or Democrat, but for all those who know the political affiliation of a certain race, for example, Hispanic always tend to vote for Democrats. That's just the way it is. Okay. And a lot of people are saying, okay, are they letting all these kids come over so that way they can vote in the next election, or keep them to continue to vote in that type of election? Is it a way where, because right now the people who are trying to stop all this are the Republicans, obviously, the conservatives, because they're going to come over here, they're going to start taking the jobs away from the people who want jobs. Hence, we're talking kids, so we're talking, maybe McDonald's, fast food, all this kind of stuff. But also what's happening is, from my understanding, it's costing the taxpayer a lot of money per day to keep one kid in the United States. It's coming out of your guys' pocket. All right? So where I'm going with this is, let's just say, okay, scenario one is the voter situation. All right? And I'm going, I don't think that's the scenario or the theory that a lot of people are thinking, or the reason why they're coming over. I placed something on my wall, it was this morning or yesterday, about my idea. And I'm just throwing this out. I mean, I'm going way over, and I'm just going to throw this out. Let's say that, we're talking 60,000 kids. That's a lot of kids. We're talking, if you put 1,000 kids in each military base, Okay, let's say there's 60 military bases and they put 1,000. Okay. Our government, who knows, right? Everybody knows Agenda 21 and the New World Order and what they want to do to, to keep us all in check. What if, all those kids that come over, they inject every single kid with something. Let's just say, as they come in, the military is going to inject them, telling them that it's part of the process and we don't want you guys to get us sick, blah, 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 but we inject something into every single kid, for example. So now you have 60, 100,000 of these kids, teenagers, adults, have been injected with something, and we don't know. Right now, a lot of the Congress and representatives are trying to go into and look at these kids in the facilities, and they are not allowed to take any type of recording devices or anything to film with. You cannot take anything like that. I mean, you can go on the internet, and we're talking ABC, CBS, NBC. Some of the representatives are being told, sorry, Congressman, you cannot take your cell phone. They check you cannot take a recording device. You cannot record anything. You can just go in and look. And that's a fact. I'm telling you right now, that's a fact. Go and Google. Now, why would...
though?
Okay, I don't know.
That's weird.
Okay, all right. Now,
you would think if they want everybody to accept it,
right,
that they would let everybody record it and let it see it.
Right. So now let's say, for example, that Obama gets his wish and he places these FEMA camps in all of these military bases throughout the United States. And now there's 2,000. That's a lot of people. 2,000 kids or teenagers or young adults are in these camps. They can, let's say the military, could go and pick up anybody, right? Anybody off the street and throw them in that camp. And you would never know he would be in there.
That's true.
Right?
Especially if they never let anybody take a picture.
And let's say they drug this person or just like they're drugging all the other kids. And let's just say they are selecting people now, like me and you, and they go and they snag you off the street and they put you in one of these bases with all these kids. And how would you know you're in there because no one can go in there and look? Wouldn't that be a convenient way to start nitpicking and getting people off the streets that are against the government, and instead of killing them, snagging them and throwing them in these camps with these other kids,
especially people that are bringing awareness to every little thing that they do, kind of lie.
And let's say that they are injecting all these people with something that keeps them tamed, like fluoride did back in the, this is scary. I'm thinking out of the box, guys. You have to find out. You have to give. Why are they allowing all these kids to come across in busloads? Literally busloads. Right now, they have no place to put them.
Keyword is allowing.
Yes, allowing. Yeah, they're allowing. It
doesn't make sense. Like
we can't even take care of our own people right now.
Right, but Obama is allowing all these kids to come over. He's not putting a stop to it right now. And the Border Patrol agents are freaking out. They're going, I don't understand it. They're all freaking out. The Border Patrol agents are freaking out. They're going, somebody is doing this on purpose. It's orchestrated. There's something behind all this. What is going on? And then when I heard Obama say, we are going to, I'm going to get Congress to put in $2 billion to open up these camps on military bases. He said that out of his own mouth. Go Google it, guys.
Where's he getting the money from?
The Congress. $2 billion. Here you go. It's yours.
See, the weird part is the actual kids in the first place. I mean, something's organized on the other side because back in the 70s, we owned a charter bus company, and two of the buses, we had cages put inside the bus for the driver, and then the outside of the bus we put bars around the windows. And twice a week, two of these buses would go, and we go to Sacramento, and Fresno, and every little immigration office, and then we would load the bus up, and the immigration guy would count out the money that these people had on them. They would say, you know, how much money do you have? Then they would count the money out and for the bus fare, and then give them whatever was left. Okay, say they had $5,000 on them. It was only $35 for the bus fare. And then they would get on the bus, and then we would run them down all the way down, nonstop, all the way down to Tijuana on the California side. And a bus would come in and park, you know, like door to door. And they would get off our bus, get on the Mexican bus, and then go over back into Mexico. Every other week, it was the same people. We were taking the same people. I mean, I got to know them by name because they were taking the money that they were earning here and taking it back there. That's what their job, that was their job. To get over here and collect the money from the family and then take the money back. Okay, now, it's orchestrated. That is orchestrated. Or, I mean, that has, you know why they're doing it. You know, they're taking what has high value for here. You can buy 1 million pesos with $1, right? I don't know how much it is, but it's a lot. Why? Who is organizing the children to come across? I mean, that's what I mean. There's somebody over on that side rounding up kids.
Maybe they're getting paid for it from here.
Somebody's saying the cartel is involved somehow.
I mean, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
the
it
cartel.
doesn't make sense that all these kids would hear something and start grouping at the border.
Well,
Right?
I don't think it's the kids organizing it.
I don't think so either.
No. I think, like you said, there's probably money involved for their family. Hey, we'll give you $1,000 or $500 American money, and we'll ship you over to the United States, and we promise you, your dreams will come true, type of deal.
Well, part of Agenda 21 is to lose the border. Where they don't want a border for they're trying to make the North and South America one country. Right? That was what NAFTA was all about, the NAFTA agreement. It was to make it all one trading, no borders, right? We would trade freely.
Well, that's what's happening right now with those kids coming over and no one's stopping.
You're opening yourself to so many other problems. Sorry, I'm getting political. And
no,
you have the cartel
but only that's
there.
what it is. It's totally political.
Drugs, cartel.
Yeah, you're just inviting, hey, come on, guys, come on in.
Yep. So it's scary. When this started happening, I really had to stop and think. I'm going, what is going on here? And then when Obama said camps, military camps on these bases, that's when I said, oh, SHIT. Because then you can take that, and once the camps are built on the bases, now you have the ability, protection. Anybody can get thrown in there and you'll never know he's in there.
Right.
You can.
You could be driving down the street and get arrested. They throw you in the car. Nobody ever sees you again.
And they take you straight out that way. Right. And then they put you in this military base with all these illegal aliens, and that's it. That's it. You can easily disappear there.
Yeah, you could.
And that's what is going to start happening here pretty soon. It's scary, guys. I don't know what to even think about. I don't know what's going on.
It's weird that they're using kids, though.
Yeah, they're using kids.
I think they're easier to control.
Easier to control, and people feel
sympathy.
Yes, because right now everybody
and less threatened.
Well, because if they're kids, we have people who are going to be like, oh, we do need to build these camps for them. That way, if they have shelter, food, stuff like that. That's
a FEMA camp right there,
yeah.
you guys. You guys, the FEMA camps are going to be. They're going to start building these things for these kids. Well, we already have them, but you know what? I think that this is an easier way to build more.
Oh, yeah.
And especially on military bases, because right now there are FEMA camps, and you've seen them like on the Jesse Ventura show, where they're not in military camps. They're just secluded near railroad yards, easy access for people, for the the train to come in and offload and vice versa. But now, if they want to build them in military installations, then holy crapola. So something to think about, guys, and keep your eyes open on what Obama is going to do with these kids, because that's going to tell you if we're getting closer. The Pentagon just recently, and we're talking New York Times, we're not talking the Sanger Herald, we're talking big-time newspapers, that the Pentagon right now are trying to learn from the protesters, so when the mass rioting starts to occur, they will be ready on how to handle it. And I'm going, what do you mean mass rioting? What are they expecting? You know, so,
if it's Agenda 21, they're they are going to crash our economy.
Okay, and that would.
That's the whole idea, because they can't take us out without it crashing our economy, and that's why they want our guns so bad, is because we put up a big old fight.
Yeah, they will.
Well, what if they're expecting a riot? Then they know they're doing something bad.
They expect something's going to happen, so they are expecting it. Now, it could be, like you said, it could be the crash of the economy. It could be something coming in from outer space, maybe a meteor that they're aware of that's going to hit. An EMP bomb could go off, and that could knock out sun. Anything, solar flare, anything like that. So it's crazy.
It's something they know, though.
Yeah.
Because they're planning.
They're planning for this. Absolutely.
So I think it's something they're going to do.
I think so.
They don't know about. I don't think they could say, "Oh, there's something." I mean, they could, but
now with that in mind.
Asteroid.
Now with that in mind, let's take the whole Agenda 21 thing and try to keep the people in check. Try to keep them down here where they can keep you
in the city.
There's something going on tomorrow.
Yeah.
That we need to attend.
I am going.
Okay, I am going too. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock at the Holiday Inn at the airport, the Department of Forestry is having a meeting from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock, basically wanting input from the public on how they should go about, because they are going to basically close out our forest, the public lands, from anybody to, and they already have this all mapped out, and it's because of a frog and a lizard, is what they're saying. And basically they want people's inputs, because this is supposedly going to take effect for 10 years, I believe.
Yeah, it's their 10-year plan.
The 10-year plan. Now...
And they aren't going to have a meeting again for 10 years.
Okay. So we need to go out there and find out exactly what is going on. It's ridiculous that they're blaming all this on the life of a frog and a lizard. They're going to keep millions of all of you out. Now, remember when I started, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, when I started talking about prepping? Yeah. And I told all of you guys where I was going to go when the SHIT hit the fan. I said I was going to hook up the fifth wheel, hook up all of our rations, get the family, and we were going to go up, way up high and hide. Well, guess what? They heard me.
They're taking that away.
They're going to block me from doing that. They're going to... Basically,
not just you.
no. They're going to block.
They're going to block all of us. And you know what? No fun. If it's not time to bug out, you're not going to go have fun either, because they blocked it out.
Right.
And they said, you could go. I was reading about it. You could go on the forest. They're not locking you all the way out, but you have to walk. And there's some places where the gate is 5 miles from the trailhead. Or 8 or 10 miles. So that means you got an 8 or 10 mile hike before you even get where you're supposed to hike. You know what I mean? No cars. All the parking lots are going to be gated off. No going in unless you're like this. That takes me out. Well, I can't go in unless I'm driving.
That is going to suck, because people who have their rations and everything, they're not going to be able to take them with you.
No.
Okay, so... Now, what is going to block us from actually going up there? Right now they're installing these metal gates. All right. Now
I should have pulled some pictures up. We have pictures of it.
Is a metal gate 100% effective from keeping people out? No. All it is locked with a lock underneath, and most likely can be cut away. For all those people who don't know, when Alan was up shooting with Finding Bigfoot a couple of years ago, right after they did the scene up at the spot, they came in a week later and placed fencing all the way around the entrance to the location where we go up to look for Bigfoot. And a gate. And they spent a lot of money.
There was not one when we did Finding Bigfoot. No gate, no fence. Drive in anytime you want. Now.
Right. So now there are a couple of theories that I have, and we actually talk about it a lot on this show. We actually interviewed somebody named David Polites, 411, about missing people. It so happens that if you look at the maps that the forestry department has placed or put out that shows all of these spots that they're going to keep the people out, it corresponds with all the missing people that are in David Paulides' book.
A lot.
All right? It's
really
like
close.
Really, really darn close. So let's take that into consideration. Okay, maybe the whole Agenda 21, maybe we're just smoking crack and it doesn't have anything to do with it. There was somebody placed, matter of fact, it was before its news, somebody wrote about military bases, underground bases, and missing people. And where David Paulides is going as far, and he doesn't want to say, but he thinks it might have to do with Bigfoot, that, making all these people disappear. Alan and I think a lot of other people think maybe it's a little further than that.
Well, I think even I listened to one of David's last interviews like a couple weeks ago on his latest book, and he actually, it sounded more like abductions than Bigfoot.
Okay.
So it even seems like he is making that leap over to where we're thinking too.
Okay.
Now.
Now, when you say abductions, what do you mean abductions? Now,
I mean like alien abductions.
Alien abductions.
But it could be government abductions.
Right.
It doesn't have to be aliens. It could be abductions by our own.
Okay. Now, it just so happens that all of these missing people that David Paulides is talking about, national parks, different parts of the U.S. locations, there's always a military-based installation pretty darn close where a lot of these people are going missing. Now, you all know I have been doing this for a long time. And Emerald has actually been with me since the very beginning. And we have found stuff north of Fresno where her and I actually, I want to say, walked to. I think that these military installations have been placed in a lot of these areas where they know there is something going on underground. And I have told everybody that I believe our military have found or know about the existence of something going on underground in our Sierra Mountains. Our Sierra Mountains have a lot of tunnels. And if you watch Chasing UFOs, what the episode I was in with James Fox, that north of Fresno, we also have a lot of cement tunnels, and a lot of people think it has to do with the hydro projects, but I think it's way more involved than that. I have a friend named Scott at work. He came up to me Friday at the ice machine at the yard, and he said, "Hey, Jeff," he goes, "Hey," he goes, "you have any other news about that tunnel and the radiation?" And I was going, it had to come back to me, but when we were in that tunnel with James Fox, and we had a Geiger counter, and it was actually reading pretty high. And I asked him, "No, not really." I go, "What's up?" And he goes, "Well, he has a family member on Albury Road, and his 2 kids have come down with cancer all of a sudden. And he says there's no cancer in the whole family at all. And all of a sudden, both of his kids came down with 2 types of different cancers. One blood cancer, and the other one, I think she's a female, has to do with internal organs or something. And they're tripping out. They can't figure out why all of a sudden both their kids came up with cancer."
Fukushima. That's the first thing I think of.
Well, it's near Albury Road, and it's up in the mountains north of Fresno, where
that
all
could be that too.
where all of this is occurring. Now,
we've had other people tell us they were in there and had high readings.
So
those things.
So is it that they're doing? And I think you talked to Adrian, his sister, who lives up there north of Fresno, who still sees these. They could be drones or top secret NASA.
They're just ships.
They're ships.
We don't know what they are, whose they are.
And they're flying around their area up there in the mountains, and they see this laser lights coming out, and they're sweeping the ground, doing this.
Sampling the ground.
And they see this constantly, and they keep their mouths shut because they're afraid. Yeah. So is there something going on? And like, for example, like I said, not Yellowstone, Yosemite happens to be the #1 national park in the United States for missing people. And that includes the Sierra Mountains just east of Fresno, you guys. There are so many missing people going on, it's not even funny.
Actually, Yosemite's the #1 place in the world for missing people.
All right, and we're not talking, people who jump off the cliff and die. There's people going missing all the time, and it's just another name they write on the book.
And they don't report it, so you don't hear.
No clue. Missing. All you guys know, we had a Department of Forestry female on this show like 2 years ago who wrote a book, and in her book, this is her quote. This is what she wrote in her book. She said, and I quote, "When I come in the mornings to open up the gate," and I have this memorized almost word for word. When I come in the mornings to open up the gates to let the people into the park, I turn around and I look at the people who walk in. I wonder which ones are the ones who are not going to leave today.
Yep.
This is what she said out of her own mouth.
I should find that and put it on the archive in YouTube.
Absolutely.
If I can find it. I mean, we have over 250 shows on that computer, and I have to find it. Oh my god!
I don't think it's going to be a hard one. But I get it. Langford.
If you wrote it on the thing, then I'll have it.
It's Langford. The last name's Langford. Excuse me. And the first name it doesn't quite hit me, but I can get a few. But that's what she said in her book, and it's quoted word for word. So she knows there's a lot of people who go missing, but she can't give an explanation. She just says, I don't know. But wow, I mean, how many missing people has to go missing before people get it gripped? There are children going missing all the time. David Paulides constantly gets people placing on his wall from all over the United States, from people in the wilderness who are losing loved ones left and right. And a lot of these are people who go by themselves. Recently there was one who was, and I don't remember, I think it was in Canada or Alaska, but there was a family, and there was a 9-year-old playing with all the kids, and they were all together, and all of a sudden the 9-year-old just disappears. And it's in there, and it's like, how could a 9-year-old right in front of all of the family members disappear? They're playing probably hide and seek, goes around behind a tree, poof, that's it, no more, gone. And they have no clue. They stop, the search. And it is constantly going up in the Tulare Mountains as well. There was a 73-year-old who was hiking. They called it off in 2 days, gone. Sorry, don't know where he's at. Another one. It's constantly going on east of Fresno.
Was the name Andrea Langford?
Yes. How do you know?
Diane.
Now, Andrea Langford. Okay, I actually have 2 books of hers, and it's one of those books. But we had her on the air, and she wrote. Actually, she has 2 books. One book is actually about paranormal stuff that happens up in the mountains. She actually wrote a book about haunted trails and haunted locations and all that kind of stuff. So it's a good read.
She's a retired park ranger.
Yeah.
So she knows all about all the stories. It does not get reported.
Right. So she wrote a book on it.
It won't be on the news. It won't be on a report anywhere. It won't be on a government website. But she has it.
Yeah. So
we should have her on the show again.
Andrea Langford. One is haunted parks or something like that. Next week I'll bring both the books out and I'll show them to you guys. But yeah, there. Again, mainstream media is not reporting this, you guys. Why? Because, well, for one thing, they can't put 2 to 2 together. They don't know what we know, and they have no clue what's really happening in the real world. They are just been told to report this accident, to report, what's happening in Iraq. They only have certain things to report. Once in a while, you might get a paranormal story like a UFO or a Bigfoot sighting, but otherwise, the missing people, the correlation of the bases, the military underground, what we do here, and, it just, they don't get it. And then they're not going to get it because they're not trained to get that type of stuff. And fortunately, we are, and I'm not saying trained, but we pay attention. We pay attention to the abnormal. And like I said, all those kids that are coming in from over the border, a lot of people will just take that and say, well, they want to come over to the United States to get to live a better life. No. And that's the way they leave it. They don't consider the circumstances surrounding why so many. and then go from there. And then they didn't probably never even heard Obama saying, okay, I'm going to contact the Congress to give us $2 billion to start building these camps on military bases. What? All right, you guys. So there are so many things going on. Tomorrow, if anybody in the Fresno area can attend, we will be there. And we are going to find out what is really going on. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of people there. But it's going to be at the Holiday Inn between 5 and 9 o'clock. I will be there at 5 all the way to 9 o'clock. And we are going to find out what really is going on. The forestry basically is going to say it's because of the frog and the lizard. But there are people who know that that's not the case. Absolutely not the case.
There's actually some forest people going to be there in support of it because they know that that's not the case.
That's not the case. And they have proof that the reason why these certain frogs and lizards are disappearing is because they're being eaten by other animals, and it doesn't have anything to do with the people riding their quads or walking and killing them, stepping on them. A lot of it has to do with the water as well. They're being killed off because there's no water, and they're dying off.
And that's not our fault.
And that's not our fault, but yet they still want to block off. See, that's stupid. It's absolutely stupid that they even said it's because of the frog and the lizard. It's just ridiculous. Okay.
What everybody needs to know is that forest is ours. It's not the United States government's forest. That is public land. Public means us. We own it. We own the land. They are stewards. We gave them like a job to take care of it, right? They're failing miserably. I'll tell you that much. They're failing miserably. And then when they start trying to lock us out of our backyard, I mean, basically that's our backyard, and they're trying to lock us out of our backyard. To me, that's wrong right there. I mean, I have a problem with it. Two things I have a problem with this whole thing. One, they're locking us all out. But two, I already been locked out for a long time, for like 10 years. I've been trying to get an electric quad or something like that so that I could go hiking with everyone. And I mean, I can't hike. Okay, so I'm a handicapped person, and supposedly they can't keep me from going or doing anything because I'm handicapped. But only they could keep me out of the forest, that I can't take anything off the trail, right? I have to stay on a dirt road. Not even my power chair can I take off the road, and I think that's wrong. So I'm actually considering a lawsuit to the government for a handicapped person that they can't keep me off the trail and deny me my own right to go on public land with a handicapped vehicle.
You are so going to disappear.
Huh.
Yeah, I'll be one of those first guys in the military base place, right?
Those books, it was Haunted Hikes and Ranger Confidential.
There you go.
Ooh, Ranger Confidential. I like that one.
Yes, that's.
I like the sound.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have her as a guest. Let's do her again because she was interesting. As was David Paulides when when he said jump off the cliff. David Paulides talks about there is people they found that they said jumped off the cliff, but they were 300 yards away from the cliff. Mm-hmm. So how did you jump that far, huh? I mean, what did you launch yourself off? Then I got a big rubber band and pew.
Yeah,
launch
they were
yourself.
Thrown.
Yeah, somebody threw them, but even us three together, we couldn't throw somebody 300 yards. The only guy I know that could do that in the woods is Mr. Squatch, the big guy. Yeah, I think he could. He could even rip the door off of your truck, and then throw the truck that far. Huh. Yeah, leave the door over here and throw the truck. Yeah.
Right. So everybody who can, please show up tomorrow. We will be there.
I'll put it on the Facebook.
Okay. I have I'll put it up on my Facebook wall too and remind everybody, and we'll go from there. So we just need everybody to show up. If you can, please show up so you can hear it from the Department of Forestry or whoever's throwing this. Actually say, yeah, well, the frog and the lizard is going to be extinct, so we really have to block it off from you guys going in there and trying to kill all of them. I mean, bull crap. There's something else going on. Now, it very well may be that that's the story that was told to them by the higher uppers, and then they have to come in there and pretty much
believe it,
and they have to pretty much sell it to us. I don't think so. I really don't. So
they're going to be there till 9?
5 to 9 tomorrow.
Yeah, they have a long
it.
agenda. There's a big, long list of stuff they're going to go over. It's a 10-year plan. So only one point of it is the frogs and the lizards. There's a whole bunch of stuff that they're going to go over. And really, it's important for all of us to go, because the only people that's been going to these meetings over the every 10 years is the tree hugger, frog lover, fish saving people. That's how come I can't go off trail. All these things, these rules, are because all the tree huggers are the ones that go, and we don't.
Probably they want you to think maybe those are their own people.
It could be, but they're the ones with an agenda to keep everybody out.
Yeah.
Those guys show up every time, and we don't. But it's time we really started doing that, because we actually outnumber all those guys. And if we show up in numbers and start being one voice, we could stop anything, really.
Yeah.
We could even stop all them 45,000 kids from being put it somewhere if we want to.
So it's we're living in some crazy times, you guys. I don't know. The New World Order, Agenda 21. How close are we? I couldn't even tell you.
I know, what's his name died? Did you see that?
Who's that?
Plane crash.
The Rothschild grandson.
Yeah, grandson, 60-something years old, 67.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he still crashed and burned.
And burned, so, he might have known the truth among them, and they took him out. They don't care who they take out. If it's immediate family, they have no idea. It's all about control and money. Basically, it's money. It's just, money.
It's control, too.
Yeah.
Go read those Georgia Guidestone things. They tell you right away.
How many people they want to keep around? Was it
500,000.
Half a million, not very many, huh?
No,
so
580,000 or something.
Yeah. I think that when the SHIT goes down, they want the smart people to survive. I really do. That's the way I feel. That they want.
Gone. No.
They want the people who are going to survive. They want to keep around so they can start all over again. There's so many people, and I hate to say it, but who live off the government, and not just because they're
because you want to.
Yeah, because you want to, because you don't want to go out and find work. They would rather get money from welfare because they believe it's going to be. They get more than working at a regular, minimum wage job.
Wasn't there a movie where they did? I don't know. Maybe I don't remember. But the whole scenario was it was a government thing, and everybody got sick because they started spreading this infection. Now, the only way you could get the cure was through the government, and even if you had enough money, they could still tell you no. It was more like a cherry picking, like picking and choosing.
There's many shows like that. The one that brings to mind is 2012. The one where the pole ship
was trying to get in the ships.
The ships, but the only people that got into these large ships were people who were very wealthy and were able to buy their family into it. Okay.
But once the door shut, even if you're wealthy, it didn't matter, man. So, you were toast.
and now, as far as the whatever it is, virus. I'm trying to think of the movies that you're thinking about.
See, I can't remember.
I can't remember
Soylent
either.
Green. What was that one? Soylent Green. It's an old movie, but it was like that kind of.
So, let me go on. I was, since it's Father's Day today, my wife was allowed me to watch any movie I wanted. So I put on Close Encounters of the Third Kind, because that's one of my favorites. And there was a spot on there Outbreak.
I think it was Outbreak.
Well, no, Outbreak is where the monkey came in from Japan.
Oh, that's right. Hold on. That's the first one that popped up. It sounded familiar.
Let me pull up something really quick.
I'm the monkey. I popped up. I hate
There
monkeys.
is a, everybody knows close encounters of the third kind. If you don't, then you should not be listening to this show. It's like my favorite movie of all time, obviously.
It teaches you how to play with your mashed potatoes. Perfect.
If you guys remember where they're sitting in an office and all the reporters and people who witnessed the UFO are being talked to by the generals and say, it's nothing. I wish I could have seen what you saw. And then this gentleman looks like he's a mountain man, gets up and says,
fool us by agreeing with us. I saw Bigfoot once. 1951. Back in Sequoia National Park. Had a foot on her. 37 inches. Heel to toe. Wow. Made a sound I would not want to hear twice in my life.
Okay, do you see where he said that? Sequoia National Park.
Right.
All right, that was in Close Encounters of the Third
Made
Kind.
a sound I didn't want to hear twice.
Okay, that is, Steven Spielberg, guys. I say that guy is.
He knows.
He knows, baby. He knows.
He even picked the right park.
Yes, he did, and that's why
for Bigfoot.
And I always said to myself, "Oh my God, why did he chose? He could have, he could have said Washington State.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or Oregon or anywhere.
Or Big Bear. But no, he said Sequoia National Park. And that, guys, for those who don't know, is east of Fresno. We're talking the Sierra Mountains. We're talking,
our backyard.
Our backyard.
And almost the spot.
And almost the spot where the Bigfoots are. And that,
we're not we're like, you could throw a rock from the spot into Sequoia Park. Yeah.
Steven Spielberg. Let me see if I can find something. I'm going to let you guys hear something else real quick. Keep talking.
I will.
Steven. Hold on, guys.
Yeah, we had some the last show we had where we recorded the recordings. We've been having some comments on the YouTube about the owl sound, and there was a guy. He said what I said. Possibly it was one owl or two guarding the nest, and a Bigfoot like circling around trying to get in the nest.
Remember, and then they fly all the presidents over to Sequoia. Maybe they're taking him to show them Bigfoot.
You know what? Thank you. You know what?
Taking him to see.
No. Thank you for reminding me. All right, you guys. There's a story that I. Okay, this happened right around 2001, 2000. It happened in 2000. I think it was 2000. For all those people who live here in the Fresno area, do you guys remember when President Bush Jr. came to Fresno?
I remember.
Okay.
He parked his plane right out over at the airport.
He came in on Air Force One, and the reason why as soon as
they even brought Air Force One helicopter.
Okay. As soon as he was inaugurated and stepped into office, the first place he went to was Fresno, California. All right, now I told this. Anyways, okay. So now what I am telling you guys is 100% fact. All right. Now he came down to Fresno, and the reason why he came down to Fresno is because he wanted to come and talk about preserving our national forest. So he flies into Fresno, and there are, just like when President Obama came down, not too long ago, there's Air Force helicopters and military helicopters as well. He got off the plane, and he was greeted by everybody, and they hopped on Air Force One and 3 other helicopters, and they flew up to the forest.
And they're going to stay in a cabin or something, I think.
Now, what happened is he got out, and got on a podium, and the background is the redwoods, and he's talking, we need to preserve this, blah, 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 blah. Okay. You would have thought that he would have came back down, hopped on Air Force One, and hightailed it out back to the White House. No. He spent the night. All right? Now, where did he spend the night? He spent the night up in the mountains, you guys.
In a cabin.
In a cabin.
Yeah.
All right, now, I had a forestry department personnel tell me that the time this all happened, he was working up in the mountains. And obviously, you all know wherever the president is, they have to keep the helicopter close by in case there's an emergency so they can get him out and fly him out quick. Well, he stayed in the mountains in a cabin by himself. And everybody's going, what? Yes, that actually did happen. At about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, this Department of Forest Ranger heard the helicopter start up. And it went up, and it went north of Fresno, and it landed someplace north of Fresno. Now, what? Okay.
In the mountains.
In the mountains.
So, in the mountains.
Now, you guys who have been, for all those who have been following us, know that we tell you there's something going on underneath the Fresno and north of Fresno. We believe there's a big secret underground facility here. And no one knows about it only because we have done our homework and people have been coming up and telling us. We've found, there's a lot of things happening. If you haven't been following us for the past 4 or 5 years, oh my God, you are so lost.
And then we even found documents or helped find that was on the internet that when we talked about it the very next day, they were gone.
They were gone, taken away.
So you can't even find that no more.
Okay.
No more.
So, President Bush stayed in the cabin. At 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, the helicopter went up, went north Fresno, landed, came back at about 5:30 in the morning, and landed, and he was seen the following morning. News reporters, basically all the limos were up there, and they actually took him to a nearby school up there and show off. He's saying hi to all the kids, blah, blah, blah. Basically a photo op, and they fly him back down to Fresno, and he goes back to the White House. Why in the world have you ever heard of such a thing where a president would stay like I could see, especially during his presidency, well, obviously
not without his family, and they would call it a vacation.
Right. Exactly.
But not normal, no.
No. Okay. This is what I mean, that something very special, very top secret is going on here in Fresno, California, and has been forever. And I mean ever. We have seen weird planes parked at the airport from Japan. I have been told, and actually I spoke to, I can really go on. Should I go on and tell you guys all this? I mean, I've told you this before, but a lot of people don't know.
Just don't give no names.
Yeah, no names. Well, you guys know that Fresno is very high. A lot of the Hmong people live here in Fresno, California. I mean, there's a lot of Hmong people.
Did you know that they tried to put like 30 or 40,000 of them in Wisconsin, and they all made it to here?
Really?
Yeah, they didn't stay. They're all, most of them were here.
It was
only a few stayed.
It was
there.
too cold.
I think they came here for another reason.
Okay. Well, you guys all know I work for AT&T Telephone. There are a couple of Hmong friends of mine, employees at work at AT&T, and one of them came up to me and said, "Hey, Jeff," because he knows the stories that I tell about underground facilities. And then one day he came up, pulled me aside. He goes, "Jeff, you need to speak to my friend." I'm going, "Well, what's going on?" He says, he used to be the bodyguard of General Vang Pao. And for all those who don't know, General Vang Pao is the people that the Hmong community trust. They follow him, and they treat him as the person of all people.
The president.
Yeah, the president. And I go, "Okay." And I go, "What about?" And he goes, "Well, you need to speak to him." I said, "Okay." And so he put me in contact only by phone, and I talked to him, and he says he was a bodyguard for him. And he says that one time he actually went with Van Pao to an underground facility north of Fresno, and it was controlled by the CIA. And I think at that point in time, it was when they were, something going on, I don't know, overseas. And that's the reason why I believe that all the Hmong people came to Fresno, is the CIA gave all of them the permission to come here for some reason.
Yeah, they gave him a car, a house.
I
mean, they took care of him. But supposedly they helped us in Vietnam, and
right.
That's why they were even being brought here.
Yeah,
because it was death if they stayed there.
And that's why we have a big community of the Hmong people here. We do. And, you know, they're the greatest people in the world. I have nothing against them. I mean,
really cool.
They're really cool people. And they love America. Oh, boy, do they. Matter of fact, a lot of, you know, my wife's a school teacher, and a lot of the smart kids are the Hmong kids. Man, it's like, you know.
They don't drink the fluoride.
So there's a lot of things going on underneath our noses, you guys. Just like recently they tore apart the Fresno airport because they dug out deeper rooms underneath the airport, and they made it bigger underneath the airport. And for all those who don't know, we have an underground facility underneath the airport. And trust me when I say they took a lot of dirt out of that airport when they were fixing or extending the runways. And all those who don't pay attention just realize, they just think that, oh, they're expanding the runways, but you don't see on a daily basis how much dirt they are pulling out of that airport.
See, that goes the same with all the people that think that north of Fresno is only ran by the power companies with all the tunnels. Okay, well, they have rooms that they've hollowed out in giant rocks that are huge, like the size of a mountain, that is the power company that you could go in. But how many of them aren't the power company? You know what I mean? While they're over there hollowing out and making tunnels, who's to say they're not doing, you know, stuff for the CIA? In fact, like one of the areas that you're talking about on the top of the ground is called the experimental range. And on the top of the ground, they have like a little schoolhouse or like a little laboratory, and students from Fresno State can go over there and check out the little animals and the frogs and the stuff like that. But only everybody over there says that they see things coming out of the ground over there, except for the students. When you ask them, oh no, there's nothing, you know. But only you ask people that live around there, and they see things coming out of the ground. And this experimental range is huge. It's like lots of acres, and it's been there ever since I was a little kid. I mean, I remember driving by on our way to a camping trip and say, hey, what does the experimental range mean, you know? I mean, that's how long. And the tunnels that we're talking about that they follow the river way, way back into the mountains, and the river splits like that, and one side is Southern California Edison, and the other side is PG&E. There's tunnels that were built in the early 1900s. Like, they've been doing this a long time. And who's to say they didn't dig out a whole bunch of other tunnels and stuff? Oh, that was good.
Sorry.
So what are you looking for?
I'm going to place pictures of those tunnels real quick.
Oh, I have them on that computer, but it would be hard to find.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna.
Yeah, but you know what? They can't see them on Art Bell. You know, we'll have to describe them or something.
Yeah.
Hold on. But these tunnels, there's hundreds of miles of tunnels. In fact, when we did Finding Bigfoot, we were on Road 3, I think it is, by Shaver Lake, and that road, when you go into, there's a gate that you go through, and then there's a tunnel entrance, like a roll-up garage, and you drive in, and then it's 3 miles in solid rock all the way back into the this big old huge cavern that has 2 turbines that make electricity. And I mean, you're driving in there. I think there's a Huell Hauser episode that shows him drive back in there in that too. You know, I mean,
did you know Huell Hauser, that episode was aired the first day they started filming here in Fresno? Remember?
Oh, of the chasing UFOs.
Yeah, the chasing UFOs.
That's right. It's like they knew.
Like they wanted to put that in everybody's minds that the tunnels were just that, hydro project. So by coincidence, by luck, of the hundreds and hundreds of episodes that Huell Hauser had, they decided to play the episode that included all of the hydro project, those large tunnels, the first day Chasing UFOs was here to film. Do you believe that? I turned it on the TV, and my wife and I went, "Holy shit,
That's where we
Batman.
spent our whole day.
Look, are you kidding
that's what
me?
we were doing.
Are you kidding me?
We were checking out tunnels.
Are you kidding me? I mean, come on. How obvious and stupid can you be to try to... So anyways, what I want to do right now, guys, is I am going to, really quick, I'm sorry for the art bell, but you guys can always come. I mean, they're just tunnels, but I want to show you...
Well, they could actually Google the tunnel system.
Oh, that's...
let's see, what do they call it? It's the Pacific Gas and Electric
Hydro Project.
And you can Google it, and you can actually pull up where it shows all these tunnels running for miles.
Okay, here is...
I mean, absolute miles.
You know what? I'm going to put the other tunnel first.
Maybe you should, like, email them to Keith afterwards. And,
okay.
You know.
That I can do.
And we'll give them to you, Keith, and that way you can put them up.
Tunnel 1. Trying to find the tunnel 2. Where did it go? Gosh darn it, I don't see it. So, but these tunnels are huge. Here it is.
Yeah, they're huge. You could drive a semi-truck in them or put a train through it.
Okay.
And they're big.
Right now, I have the tunnel. It's you and Jimmy.
Uh-huh.
All right, for all those who are watching right now, this is the one. This is the actual tunnel James Fox and I went into. All right. It has train tracks going into it. You can, I mean, literally.
It actually looks like a train tunnel.
Yeah, it's what it is. But it goes, I'm going to say about, obviously you didn't go in there, but I'm trying to think.
I know it's like 100 yards.
It's about 100 yards, and then it comes to a complete dead end cement wall with a cement ramp that leads up. And
a big iron steel door.
Yeah. So.
I've been in there. I mean, that's been there since I was a kid. I've been in there when I was a teenager.
Okay.
And I'm 55, so that tells you how long.
And this is in solid rock.
Yeah, solid.
All right. I'm going to put up the other one real quick, and this is going to be tunnel 2. It's a little bit close up. So right now, Keith, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you both of these really quick. So if you want, you can throw them up. So I'm just going to shoot them off to you really quick.
There's actually, if you go on Google Earth, I don't know if I could explain the details of how to exactly find it, but on the backside of Kirchhoff Reservoir, which is on the power, I think it's power plant number 2 or something like that on the PG&E thing, there is a hole going down, straight down in solid rock, and I don't know how deep. It has a fence around it. It is sheer walls going straight down. And I mean, it's like probably 90 feet across. And me and my friend stumbled onto it on a little hike, and then we were throwing things, like rocks and stuff like that. And you throw the rock, and then you're waiting for... You're waiting and waiting and waiting, and all of a sudden you hear sploosh. So you knew there was water in it, and it was real deep because it took a long time for the rock. And I was trying to figure out one day, like, if you count, like, this 1001, 1002, if you could figure out exactly how far the rock fell, and it was beyond my math, about,
Okay, really quick. Now, Keith, I sent you 3 photographs, as a matter of fact, so if you want to put them on. There's one photograph that I'm going to go in and put on right now that's at the end of the tunnel that actually will show you what we are talking about when I say cement ramp. Come on, Jeff. And that way you guys are going to go, what the hell is that? Not exactly. So hold on, guys. Just bear with me.
We actually had people tell us that there is, out of these tunnels is where the radiation is coming out of. And real high radiation. So,
now what I'm going to do right now is I am just going to go ahead and...
I think there's going to be a bunch of people coming down with cancer that keeps eating tuna, crab, anything ocean, kelp, what do they call that stuff? Seaweed. Man, you guys, you need to stop eating that stuff. Japan has no control over how much radiation's getting in the ocean. I mean, that is a world-changing event, and nobody's talking about it. And right now, all the starfish are dying. You could go over to the coast right now and talk to people, and they're like, the starfish are disappearing. I wonder why.
Okay, for some reason, I just emailed me that one picture of the ramp, and it's not coming up on my email. Like, where did it go? Somebody intercepted it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I sent it to Keith. Hopefully, he'll put it up. And you guys can go to artbell.com and take a look at the 3 photographs, the 2 tunnels, and the one, this ramp that goes up to this door that has a steel door at the very end. So, wow, that's trippy. So, okay. So now I'm just going to go very, very trippy. So, all right, we're just about done here, aren't we? Yeah,
that's happened to us before when we talk about that exact subject. Almost every time. It used to be the computer would cut out.
Yeah.
And we kind of fixed that, kind of.
So hopefully, yeah, that's what it was. But there you go. So all right, you got about 6 minutes left. What?
You're advertising Google.
Am I? Oh, I took it off. So okay. So we are, like I said, we're going to be at the Holiday Inn tomorrow at 5:00 p.m. and we're going to listen into the Department of Forestry and see what they have to say about the 10-year plan that's going to basically keep us out of the forest that belongs to the public, which is
try and keep us out. We're not going to stay out.
So make sure you let everybody know about tomorrow. We're going to be there, like I said. Go ahead and post it on your Facebook wall. As a matter of fact, I will place on my Facebook wall the actual advertisement about tomorrow, and please share it among your friends and just share the crap out of it, and hopefully we can get a lot of people, standing room only, and let's see what's I got a feeling there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of protesting there tomorrow.
All my neighbors from up on the hill, they're all going to be there. I can't wait. It's going to be like old home week for me.
So I'm gonna take some video, and then maybe we can play some of it next week, and we'll download it and all that kind of good stuff. So it's going to be interesting tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen. They're just going to try to give us a bunch of BS and the reason why they want to keep us out and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know.
Well, there's actually going to be 3 meetings. So if you're not in this area and you're in the Bay Area, you need to go on the Forestry Department site and find the meeting for the Bay Area. There's going to be one over by Merced or someplace also for the guys over there. I mean, they're not just closing our forest off over here. All you people that are in California, all the way Northern California, Southern California, they are they want to close off all the way from our area all the way up to Northern California. So they're having meetings up and down the state, and ours is the first one. So you could hear about ours, but then go looking for your area and get in there and go over there and spread the word for your area. Because once they start cutting it off, it's going to be hard to stop them. It really will. I mean, if they cut it off, that's pretty much it. It's cut off.
That's
you know what I mean? That's why we have to stop them now.
And if you go try to break in, it's a federal crime, I think.
All you Bigfooters that are listening right now, they're getting ready to cut off your Bigfoot site for sure.
Now, if the gates are closed, if we still can't walk in there?
Oh yeah, I read the whole agenda thing. You can hike.
Okay.
But see, there were some places like up by Tahoe and ski resorts and stuff like that. There's actual parking areas that are inside the gate where people used to go and park, and then they could take off on a trailhead, right? All those are going to be gated off from way back. So they're saying you still need a wilderness permit to go hiking. Okay, you still need to get the wilderness permit. And then it's going to be a long hike because it's going to be like the 8-mile hike to get to the trailhead that you used to be able to drive and park at.
Right.
And then you got to,
that's gonna
hike
be crazy.
from there. So.
All right, guys, we are at the end. And so it's going to be a great time tomorrow. I think it's going to be interesting. I want everybody to show up. So everybody show up. And I want to thank you for showing up tonight.
It was fun hanging out with y'all.
So, okay, everybody, thank you very much. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. That is Alan Thomas with Emerald Bonilla. Thank you very much for showing up, and we shall see for those who are going to be showing up tomorrow. Show up tomorrow. Thank you very much. Good night. Take care.
Good night.
You have been listening to Paranormal Central with Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas, broadcasting worldwide at paranormalcentral.net and on artbell.com. Stay tuned for next time. Remember to keep your eyes to the skies, and we hope you witness something you cannot explain.
I'm looking for you, you're looking for me. We have to decide what it will be. Can it be true?